What's up, Keep Pounding crew? Back to the video. Keep pounding. Today's topic is day one of training camp, the signing of Krishan Hogan, and the Panthers announced their start times for the Ravens joint practices. If you like the video, if you like the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, select all, and leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so. Let's jump on into it. So, we're going to start with day one observations. And in Matt Rhule's own words, you could tell we were in really good shape. Guys look good, they're moving around, guys know what to do. We're not really a competitive team on the first or second day as we put pads on. We'll be a little more tomorrow. Really trying to ramp up this first week so when we hit pads next week, we can go and not have to think and be in great shape. Credit to the guys, I think they came in pretty good shape. That's what you like to hear, ladies and gentlemen, from day one. That's what you like to hear. It's a good sign. There's no position battles right now. There's nothing really going on. It's just who's in great shape, in the first 4 days. And they're officially called an acclimation period, as players get a chance to build up to full contact next week. So, I'm getting ready, man. I'm ramping up too. I'm waiting on next week. We're going to have those 8:30 practices in the morning. I'm going to be there for some of them. You've already seen the video schedule release from me as far as when I'm going to be there. And I'm absolutely stoked. My first training camp practice this year is going to be Saturday night on the 30th. So, is that going to be the 30th or the 31st? Well, either way, I'm beyond stoked, man. This is going to be exciting. And, I think this team has the potential to do a lot of good things. And as far as a lot of today's work and yesterday's work in day one is going to be individual drills, technique work, and some periods of 7-on-7, which makes for some nice photo opportunities, if not chances to draw big conclusions. This is coming from Darren Gant on the Panthers website. So if you want to read this article for yourself, you can. But I'm going to continue on here. They were talking about Daquan Jones with his full-length tights. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Do y'all care about that? I don't care about that. What I care about is his technique. His footwork. That's what I'm looking for. So, and they say he is the kind of detail worker who serves as role model, someone who the coaches point to and say, do it like that. Okay. So now we move on to Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold looks sharp, but again, so many of the throws he was making on Wednesday were of the short to intermediate variety. the easier throws he'll be looking at on is on first and second down. Okay. 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 And while there are questions about what kind of leader he's going to be, the point is they don't want him worried about that right now. He's just going to worry about playing quarterback right now, Matt Rhule says. We got great leaders. We got Christian McCaffrey. We got... You fill in the blanks. You fill in the blanks. You know them all. You know all the good names by now. And, he goes on to list the defensive players. You know the players. Come on. You already know the names by now. What I'm really looking for from Sam right now is to be the first guy in the building and the last guy to leave. I want him to just absolutely grind and outwork the competition. Well said, Matt. That's what I want to see too. Set an example. That's who the quarterback is for this team. Going into training camp. That's exactly what it is. So now, Trenton Cannon made some nice grabs. And I love the technique. I love the spin. I love the footwork. The hands are fantastic. And he goes on to say on one play in particular, he put on the double move on quarterback Dante, creating space for an easy touchdown. Now, as we know, that's a fairly easy thing to do against Dante. If you've watched him in regular games, every now and then, he'll go up one of those against the star wide receiver. But in training camp, he's just getting his footing. So you might see it a bit more in training camp. And that's what I meant. Like, you'll see him do that stuff in training camp, but once the padding starts getting ramped up, you get the next week in the training camp where they're in full pads. They got everything going for them. Everything's working for them. And that's when you'll see Dante start ramping it up, just moving. You'll start to see that technique, that grind that he has. But that first 4 days, don't even think nothing about it. That's the typical first 4 days of training camp right there for Dante. I've seen him do that a couple of times now for a couple of years. I'm not even worried about that. Regular season wise, every now and then he'll give up one of those double moves and it'll be like, Dante, come on, man. But it's rare. It's rare these days. The double moves don't seem to phase him on game day. But, in training camp first 4 days, though, that's where it is. So that's what I meant by that. So don't read too much into that blanket statement that I had about a minute ago on this video. I wanted to explain that a little bit, so there you go. And they say that Trenton Cannon is listed as a running back. He's taken all his work from the receivers throughout the spring. He has top end speed, so it's worth seeing where he fits in. Okay. I'll keep an eye on him. Duly noted. And there's some stuff about the scheduling of practice and whatnot. But again, if you're going to those 8:30 practices in the morning, even though it's like mid-80s, you still want to bring some sunscreen and some Gatorade. Always. Keep yourselves hydrated. Keep yourselves protected from the skin. From the sun. always. And the last thing I want to bring up about day one of training camp is that safety Leno Hill and tight end Steven Sullivan were placed on the COVID-19 reserve list, joining linebacker Frankie Luvu. Hill is already on the active physicality list, unable to perform list, as he recovers from a foot injury in the OTAs. And they also put Phil Hoskins, the defensive tackle, on the active physically unable to perform list with a foot injury. The 7th round pick could be activated at any time. So that is your most recent news for day one training camp. Now, Krishan Hogan. We're looking at a 6'3", 217-pound Hogan, who gives him another big target in a position and some potential special teams help. He spent some time with the Cardinals, Colts, Saints, and Titans previously in a 10 career games, and has 1 catch for 4 yards. So basically, he's a camp body. That's what I'm seeing right now. But Fitterer said he's going into camp and he wanted to cycle through multiple players in camp, so additions like this one could become part of the routine in the coming weeks. So basically a rotating camp body list. That's really what we're looking at, which is cool for me. But it could be really confusing as well when you talk about the player numbers and whatnot like that, because when you try to keep up with the player numbers with the recent jersey change rule, jersey number rule change, where you could do that and you could change those numbers, that can really baffle some people that are trying to keep up with all that. And I don't know if they still have printable rosters at these training camps or not with that new rule in place. We'll see. If they do, I'm going to try to get one. I'm going to try to keep up with it as best I can in all the changes. I can't guarantee that those numbers will be the same ones at the end of training camp, though. So, I mean, I feel like there should be a deadline on when you could change those numbers. You know, for merchandise reasons and for roster reasons, all kinds of reasons. That's what I feel like. But the team had 3 available roster spots for players on the reserve COVID-19 list, so they didn't need to cut anyone to add someone. So, and finally, the Ravens joint practice times. 8:30 in the morning on Wednesday and Thursday, August 18th and 19th. And you can guarantee you'll see me there for both mornings. I will be there for both. I'm not missing that, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Ravens battling our lines. Their wide receivers battling our corners. Their quarterback battling our defense. You know, on 11-on-11 drills. And we're going to get to see both in action, you know, before preseason even starts against them. This is going to be really, really interesting. So, you definitely want to be there for at least one of those if you can do it. This is your one chance to see Lamar Jackson in action, you know, in person, in front of you. If you can't see it, then, you know, if you're from a different state and you can't go, then that's unfortunate. But I'll try to get some footage for you guys, and I'll put it up on the channel for you. That's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please like, sub, hit the bell, select all, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And make sure that you are hitting that bell and subbed so you don't miss any new videos. This channel is about to get hot. Red hot this month with videos. So you don't want to miss any of them. Live streams as well. Hit that bell. Do yourself a favor. Thank you guys. Love you all in the Keep Pounding crew. As always, keep pounding.